Hi there, this is Dr. Kathy Wright, and this is the third video in the sequence for adding a Google Map to our project. Okay, so in the last video we left it where we had created a new screen which we called map, and within that map we added a HTML object, and inside that is a division which has the ID of map_canvas, where our Google Map will be displayed. So in this video, what I'm going to do are a couple things. First of all, I'm going to create a link between the customer details screen to the map, because remember, when the user identifies a customer via the choice box and selects that customer, we want to give them the option of opening up the orders or going out and finding the customer on the Google Map. Okay, so we're going to start by opening up the customer details screen, double clicking here. Okay, so I've got, where I left it at the end of the last chapter, or case 8, and I'm going to add a new menu item to my menu, which I'm going to call Open Map. Amazingly, I'm going to move it up a level. Okay, and let's see, here in the Properties tab, so make sure you have that open. Right, the key is Open Map, and the type of request we're going to make here is that we're going to actually open the map screen. So the type of activity here is to open a screen, and the screen is, surprise, surprise, map. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and save that. All right, looks good. Okay, now comes the tricky part. All right, this is a jQuery plugin, which means that it is built around some JavaScript, and JavaScript is fairly complex. So rather than type all of it out, I have included it in the document, and you can copy it and paste it into the correct JavaScript file in your project. But there are a couple caveats there that I want to make you aware of. So I'm going to start by opening my custom JavaScript file, and it's here under the JavaScript folder. I go up so you can see where it is. It's in the generated workflow, the project, HTML, it's in the JavaScript folder, and it's the custom.js file. And you can see, so this is where the actual custom functions for any JavaScript that you want to write would be stored for the workflow. And you can see, if you look through here, you've got a lot of different functions that are already there as kind of placeholders, some with code, some not with code, that you can use to customize your application. The function that we're going to use is, be careful here, there's a custom before navigate forward. We're going to use the custom after navigate forward. So this is a function which whenever you go from one screen forward to the next, you can write some custom JavaScript in here. Note that it's got 2 arguments, the originating screen that makes the request and the destination screen. So in our case, it's the customer details screen, which is then navigating forward to the map screen. Okay, so what I've done is, here in the document, I have put out all, or written the actual function with the customized code that you can copy and paste into this function, or replace this function with this code. Just want you to be very careful when you do that. I'm going to walk you through some potential changes you might need to make. But I'm first of all going to copy this code here. So I'm going to select it all and then right click to copy it. And then here in the custom.js file, I'm going to copy this function with its open bracket and end bracket that defines the actual function. So start with function name and the ending bracket, and I'm going to right click to just replace all that code with all this code from my document. Okay, so custom after navigate forward, it here's that division, the map canvas. This is if you already have a map, it's going to destroy it using the plugin functionality built into Google Maps itself. Now here is where it gets a little tricky. What happens here is we create a address for Google Maps to use as a variable built from the MBO in the project itself. Now, depending on what you named your MBO, this may or may not work. In my case, I named my MBO not get details with an S, but just get detail. The way you can find out what you did is to go back to your workflow and double click on your customer detail screen. So I'm going to open that up in the screen design. So here are each of your fields, each of which is bound to your underlying data object. And we'll start with the street, just going to click on it, and you can see here in the key that the key is built from the MBO name, get detail, and actually you can see that over here also, get details. So you may have named it get details with an S. In my case, I did not. Okay. So what you can do is, if you named it something different, you can find it here in your customer screen and copy that name. You need the whole thing. And then here in your custom file, replace that attribute key for the MBO with what you copied out of your customer detail. Now you may, if you follow my directions exactly, this may not be an issue for you, but I just want to make sure that if you did have a slight variation, that you have the correct name here. So baseline is, what you want to make sure is that this portion of the attribute key is copied correctly from your MBO, and it's going to be the same for each one of these pieces of the overall address. So what's happening here is your code is creating a single variable that's concatenating the street, the city, the region, which in our case is the state, and the postal code, to have a complete address that's then passed to Google to find it within Google Maps. Okay, so just to make sure that that is going to match. All right, so that looks good, and I think actually that is the last thing that I'm going to have to do. So once you've done that, it goes ahead and it sets up the space for the Google Map, and it uses the Google Map geodecoder to pass the address, and which is then used to find the location on the Google Map, and then it opens up Google Maps and displays the value. Okay, so we've got this new code in the custom JavaScript, so now we need to generate it into the project. So I'm going to go back to my workflow, and I'm going to right click and generate my mobile workflow package, but this time I'm going to, again, not deploy it to the unwired server. I'm going to update my generated code, and I don't think I'm not going to assign it either because it's not completely ready. So I'm just updating my generated code, which will move this and put it into part of your JavaScript custom code. So I'm going to click Finish, and this should just take a couple seconds. 1 second in this case. All right, and that's that. So the last piece, I'm just going to go ahead and do this all in one. This is step 4, I think. Nope, it's the last step here. So I'm going to make sure that this is in my HTML file. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to close my JavaScript folder here. All right, so you can find this file. Actually, yeah. So here under my HTML, if you go straight down, what you're looking for is the file, the workflow underscore jQuery mobile look and feel HTML file. You can open this so you can see it here. Make sure you're not doing the .xml file. This is the HTML file. Okay, so I'm going to open that up. And up here in the sources that are going to be included in the project, again, you can type this in, but if you want to just go ahead and copy it in from the document, that might be easier for this first go around. I'm just going to copy this one script reference with the source to the Google Maps. Copy it there and paste it here. All right. And good. Save everything. All right. So that's it, actually. It's really not that tough. I'm going to go back to my workflow and I'm going to regenerate my package. If you follow the instructions on the very last page, you can see, actually going to, let's see, to uncheck the updated generate code, sorry, excuse me. But we're going to go ahead and deploy it to the unwired server and assign it to the workflow to the user. All right, looks good. Because if you click this, it's going to replace that code in that .html file, so don't want to do that. All right, let's go ahead and go for it. And yep, all right. Now it's time to check and make sure your Google Maps will work.